mind control. So with that in mind, trauma, right? It does leave trauma. It's traumatic. And in fact, that's probably contributing to why a lot of people are confused and suffering, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely is confusing, right? I think it like detaches you from like the intuitive understanding that you can like know truth
Yeah.
and understand it. Yeah, so it's like you definitely have to throw your intuition out. And dude, intuition is like one of the most powerful things in the world.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. I think it's like literally like a built-in mechanism from God that shows you
Hmm.
when something's happening. So, you know, like that, like we're just taught that like whatever you intuitively think is completely the opposite of the truth as like a kid. It's really kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It's like if though if those satellites aren't actually just falling around the globe Earth, do you think they're locked onto something that's going that speed, or they're actually being propelled?
So satellites. Um, I don't know. That's a good question. We're trying to look into all the
Yeah.
specifics and where can we get the information. It's like a huge rabbit hole. It's like so flooded with corrections before you get to it. But um, yeah, who knows, right? Like there's obviously like if the universe is rotating around us, even if it's like much more local, it's going pretty fast. So in theory, it could kind of just like ride that. If there's some type of medium moving with it, it would have to have like no resistance, you would think, right? Like especially if it's like a physical object, like if it's what they claim that they are, which I do know people that have privately shot up like CubeSats and stuff, right? I mean, who knows how long they stay up there and where they really are or whatever, but we shoot, you can privately shoot stuff in the sky, whatever that means. Um, so yeah, I don't know. So, and then there's this other idea that Piezo was talking to me about, which is he discovered that right before the Soviet Union claimed to put up the first satellite, Sputnik, that they had discovered quantum locking. So
Oh, that makes sense.
yeah, so like basically, if they have the magnetic field lines of Earth mapped out at these higher altitudes, then in theory, if you knew the exact angle to shoot the rocket, you would have to shoot it at a very specific angle and altitude, right? And then were to drop out the satellite and where it lands on that track, it can actually stay on that track, then it would just like ride it.
Yes,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
which is pretty crazy. And then like um you could basically use hydrogen to like keep the temperature or like helium to keep the temperature super cold for the quantum locking, which NASA is literally the number one purchaser of helium, right? So it would be interesting if they keep the satellites cold with helium and therefore they're able to like quantum lock to the field lines. And then maybe that we were just talking about what if that's what they were doing whenever they were shooting the high altitude missiles, because once they exploded, it would create like radiation signals and you'd be able to then map out the field lines at higher altitudes
Well,
with the
they will
radiation
still have
signals.
to figure out a way to like what micro moves, like to be able to like shift them out of their positions, like because there's what they would be doing for, because I've seen satellites that have actually changed course, like they're not, unless they can just like make them go up and down, like from what you're saying, those lines, like from one and drop down to another one, like somehow with maybe just by manipulating the charge of the set box. I don't know, what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. I'd have to see how many have changed, right? Like, or if they're small private ones, maybe they're different. Like so I guess you have a couple options there. Like either I don't think it's particularly feasible for them to just drop from one field line to the next, right? Because the thing about quantum blocking is it's pretty specific. Like you gotta be like on the right track, right? So like if you were to fall from that track, you'd have to like, yeah, I mean, maybe they have some mechanisms where they can guide it a little bit and they were able to like perfectly land on another one. I don't know. In theory, you could do that, but you would have to land exactly right, or you wouldn't like attach to it. But this idea of like just like the universe rotating and creating inertial forces is one of the most compelling ones to me, right? So like if you shoot at the right angle with the right momentum and it's going to land inside of this like this motion with the forces, it's going to keep it going. But what would happen, so you could easily change your position on that, right? Because as long as you have some type of mechanism in the satellite that can steer it, then you could do that. But the issue with that is the satellites are going to all have to come down eventually, right? Like, which is interesting because that's what they claim. They do claim that. Like they claim that the ISS is going to crash in like 2032 or something, right? In the ocean.
Well, if there's a giant solar flare, they might all come down at one time.
That would be crazy. Yeah, satellites are like their big deception, man. It's really hard to get to the bottom of it because it's so under wraps.
That would be an explanation. Like if there was a giant solar flare, all the satellites that are in the magnetic lines would just fall down. That would be the what do you call it? The angels falling to Earth. Biblical.
Yeah.
No, it's
Yeah.
all the stars. I think it was what was his name saying the stars are going to fall to Earth. That
Yeah, it does say
anyway,
that.
just watched it. Dean Odell, I think it was, in his
Yeah.
sermon.
It does say the stars fall down in the end, yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know. I have what people think is probably a crazy position, but like I think a lot of the stars are like celestial hosts. I think they're like entities. If you look at like some of Joe Hamby's shots, because a lot of the stuff that the flat earthers have shared around of the stars, a lot of those are out of focus. And like he replicated it with like a just a typical light on a tower. He just zoomed in, then when he gets it out of focus, it does the little pulsating circular orb. But when you get them in focus, I mean, like all the mainstream pictures of stars, like they're overexposed. They're typically long duration shots, right? Like there's just they like layer tons of shots of it, and then it's like crazy exposure, and it's this real bright, pretty looking star. But that's not properly shot either. But when you actually get fully focused and zoomed in, and you take like a still shot, like in that moment of time, like a split second, and you look at these pictures, I don't know if you guys have seen them, bro. They literally look like figures, dude. They look like figures in light. Literally, dude. I'm not joking at all. It's insane to me. Dude, I
You
was
want to
so
see that?
mind blown when he showed me.
It wouldn't
You seen
surprise
it?
me.
Let me see if I can find them.
Not just that, not just that, but you know how you get that like plasma type of oscillating light feature before you zoom in all the way. Like it's the in between stage of like zooming into, for example, Jupiter, right? And you know what Jupiter looks like, right, with its moons and stuff. But before you get to that, you get this thing that the flat earthers call that's what a star really looks like. Well, if it was just something wrong with the camera or the way that your optics work, then how come it's consistently always the same symmetrical sort of a pattern compared to another celestial body which has its own like attributes that they're not comparable really? They've got their individual characteristics, so
Dude, I'm
I
gonna
think there's
share this
something.
video and show you guys, dude. It's gonna blow your mind, bro. If you've never seen this, it's about to blow your mind, bro. Like, I mean, it blew my mind. Maybe I'm tripping, but I think it looks like. Let me make sure I don't want to show you guys my camera roll. Let me make sure we're good. Uh, okay, I think we should be good. All right, I'm gonna share this, even though I might kind of kill the vibe in here for a second, but I'll just drag it through and show you guys, bro. I mean,
Oh,
Thank you, Austin.
I accidentally clicked on Roohif's stream. God, threw up in my mouth.
That's a shittily collimated telescope. Witsit.
It's literally what he's saying in the video, bro. So he explains
Good.
this is the viral video that's supposedly of the hand of God. He explains exactly what's messed up. He tells you all the different parts of the telescope that you're seeing, and he basically just runs his hand in front of it, and the dude's just a liar, whoever put that video out, right? So anyway, so he shows you here on a tower, right? You just see the lights. He's just gonna zoom in and then make it out of focus. And what do you know? So a lot of these shots of from flat earthers are just like stars that are out of focus, right? He shows you like the spider vein and the primary mirror in the back, all this stuff. Okay. Here, same thing.
Just to be clear, you're showing shitty things, right? Things not to do.
Yeah, but just be quiet for a
All
second.
right, fine.
Just watch it and be quiet. He's about to show you what they actually look like in focus, and they're crazy.
With my refractor telescope and my hand. A refractor is much smaller than a reflector, so it's not the same, but you can get the point.
Yeah, he's just showing how the guy faked it. Okay,
When you shoot star video,
here we go. These are crazy, bro.
it's easy to repeat. This here is an out of focus video of Venus. When you shoot star videos, this is what you're gonna see, although this one is a little out of focus. Get it better in focus, and this is what you'll see with stars. They just flash and twinkle. In prime focus, under excellent seeing conditions with proper exposure, this is what you see.
Wow.
Little pinpoints of light, and when you zoom in on those little pinpoints of light, they appear to have a form, a physical form.
How
Not
crazy.
claiming that they are physical forms or that they are angelic, but they do appear to have some sort
He's
of
cherry-picked a
form
frame.
that does look.
It's terrible.
Dude. Brother,
This is the viral hand.
we
They
don't
look
need your
like a
like
wolf.
materialistic nonsense.
They look like a wolf with a hat on.
Yeah, but
Watch, he's about to
the
show
next
you.
frame and it'll look something else.
No, dude, but he's about to show you.
Excellent seeing conditions with proper exposure, this is what you see. You see little pinpoints of light, and when you zoom in on those little pinpoints of light, they appear to have a form, a physical form. Not claiming that they are physical forms or that they are angelic, but they do appear to have
Roof, like all these different shots showed the same general form. He's literally showing you like 6 different ones from the same shot.
some sort of
I've seen 2 or 3
form that
frames.
does look angelic, as you can see in this very zoomed in.
Does anyone
photo
like me
of
think
the
it looks like a
in-focus star.
face with a hat on?
This is another in focus star.
Yeah, do you want me to get
This
some
is
footage?
another
Like, obviously,
in-focus
that's pretty
star,
low to the horizon.
captured in a split second.
There's a lot of
This is
turbulence.
an
Wait up, this is the important part, man. Just chill.
focus star. This is another in focus star. This is another in focus star, captured in a split second. This is an in focus star, but overexposed. Another in focus, but overexposed. Another in focus, but overexposed. Another in focus, but overexposed. You have to capture these things in an instant to capture their form. All of the stars you're seeing now are out of focus. So when you see stars like this posted by anyone claiming they're in focus and that they're in the waters above, know you are looking at out of focus stars. I'm only trying to help and clear the record. That's it.
That's the thing. All these that you always see, these are just like overexposed photos. These are worthless. They're
I don't know whether
overexposed.
overexposed is the right word.
They're overexposed,
I would
and
say
they
long
just layer
exposure.
them. Yeah, they layer them. But like when you take a still shot of them, look at the freaking, what the crap is that? Look at that.
Right, that's the problem. If you take a single frame, you're just capturing the turbulence in the atmosphere. If you do this on a star that's, almost vertical, you get far less turbulence. That tells you it's the atmosphere and the amount of aberration in it. That one, go back a little bit. So you see the blue on the top and the sort of more red orange at the bottom. That's low to the horizon because the aberration's pretty high. You got a lot of blue on the top and red on the bottom.
And why is just frame to frame changing so much?
I don't know. That's not what I see when I look at stars.
Okay, you
I can get
properly focus and take still shots without overexposing and long exposure?
Yeah. You get turbulence, yes. You get all sorts of different little shapes because you're looking through turbulent atmosphere.
Dude, back to
What if
back to back still shots in focus showing the same figure is weird.
what
Yeah,
would be
like,
good
would
if
you like me to
he
get
could
some
do
footage
it
of
on
stars?
multiple. If he did it on multiple nights, and then we had like if it was being able to be repeated and every time was the same shape, like for 100 times in a row, that would be compelling, right, Roohif?
Yeah, that'd be very interesting.
Can
But I
you
can
just
tell you it
you
doesn't.
don't know? You don't. You can't tell me that.
What? I
Okay,
look at stars all the time.
I don't care what you look at, dude. We're talking about still shots in a split second in focus.
Yep. Right. And there's
I
turbulence.
mean, right.
The lower down you
Oh my
point, the
god.
more turbulence and atmospheric
Your excuse doesn't make
chromatic
sense, or
aberration
they
there is.
wouldn't look the same in back to back to back to back to back still shots.
Yeah, if he gets more than fucking 3 frames, sure, that would be interesting.
Okay, well here's like 5 right here.
Yeah, I will capture I'll capture some turbulence, all right, and I'll show you that it just wobbles all different shapes. So
Just
whether
count
this
them.
guy's being
1,
honest, I don't know.
2. Yeah, of course he is. This whole point of this video is to be so incredibly bluntly honest that all the flat earthers are gonna get mad at him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Yeah,
10,
it's not
11.
what I see.
What do you mean it's not what you see?
Yeah. I don't get consistent shapes like that for like really short exposures. I
Okay,
just get
so you
wobbles.
think he just made this up?
Maybe it's his telescope doing it. I don't know. That's not what I see.
No, he showed me a picture. Here, I'll just drop it in the chat, dude. He showed me a picture of his buddy doing the same thing, man.
Thank you, Austin.
Are you with the same telescope?
Yeah. No. Nope.
Yeah, like I'm happy to get, sort of video footage of stars and take half a dozen different frames and show you they're just all over the place.
Oh, you be sure and let me know whenever you do that.
You still haven't blocked though?
We have to trust that you actually can get it in focus. So get it
Yeah.
in focus and then just bang, 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 and see what happens.
Sure. Let's see if you're still a pussy. 1 second.
Let me find the other shots he has. Like he also shows like pictures of like nebula and they have shadows on them. And these are even in like super famous pictures of nebula. The lights in the nebula have shadows casted onto the like what looks like the colorful clouds behind them. How does that work?
Oh, sorry, was that for me?
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't do much nebula stuff. I'm in the city.
but isn't that crazy? Here, I'm gonna show you this picture. And I was like, "Oh, you must be messing up on something, right?" But then he started showing me all these different pictures, and then he started showing me mainstream pictures that have them on there, like mainstream official astrophotography pictures. But like, if you look at the white dots there, you see like the black like shadows.
Yeah.
What is that? And then, dude, it's in so many of them,
Don't
bro.
know.
It's crazy looking, huh? And then here he shows like redshift and blue shift in the bottom of a pole, just moving his camera. Um, I'm gonna find some. Here he shows the 3 different mirrors, so like they're different shapes and sizes, and they reflect the sunlight onto a cardboard, and they like show the different shape and sizes. As you move them further and further back, they all become like perfect circles of light that are all the same size. And the bigger one is just brighter. Pretty crazy. Um, there's so much stuff in here. Okay.
Don't you find it strange, anybody, that the the numbers are too coincidental that the layers of the Earth that we're standing on, there's 5 layers all the way to the core, and the atmosphere has got 5 layers as well. It's like this balancing act between the layers, but the ones they really can't verify are the ones all the way down below our feet.
Dude, this one looks like a freaking alien, bro. Look at this. Bro, look at this picture, dude. This looks like a gray alien. Isn't that crazy looking, dude? I dropped in the text.
Yeah.
It looks like a little alien head. Yeah. So anyway, there's the orange one is from his buddy.
That looks a bit out of focus, I think.
Maybe. That one looks crazy. It does look like there's a little figure in there in light or something. This one looks super weird. Guess it looks like it has wings or something. Like, I mean, the thing is that they just look like they have a form. So you're claiming that these are actually just balls of burning gas, and they look like this because of the atmosphere.
The atmosphere has turbulence, right? And the turbulence gets less the less atmosphere you look through. You get less
That is
wobbling
true.
if you look up.
Yeah. So
Right.
then if I look up and get something in focus and get a still shot of it and it has a form still, then or like if
Yeah.
really we should be able to get on, like if we could get on Sophia and we could take the shots ourselves. Because you're
That'd be
high
cool.
above the atmos at that point.
We're going to start fundraising for a trip all the way up there.
A fundraiser, Sophia. It's on a 747, isn't it?
Sophia, I
fatal.
don't know. They decommissioned. I don't remember.
Yeah, then it's, I don't know, 10 mil for the telescope as well.
Yeah, they have like freaking. Yeah, man, look just like freaking trouble.
I've written down just for you, Witsit, to get some wobbly footage of both low stars and high stars.
But are you gonna do it in good faith?
Sure, I'll show you frame by frame how it just wobbles all over the place. Sure.
Okay.
I mean, should I ask your guy? Is he doing it in good faith?
Yeah, he is. I mean, obviously, we
Okay,
all
then I am.
expect there to be some movement, right? The question is like, is there like a general form that remains throughout the pictures?
Yeah, it's not. Bioman. Remember Roohif and the
I think
Globetards
that you're
claimed
overly
when listening to
confident
this.
because you believe it. I don't necessarily believe that you've even done it. Like get stars
Would you
in
like to? Would you
focus.
like me to go out and show you my telescope set up already aligned with it in the
No,
garage?
I don't dispute that you have a
No.
telescope.
Okay.
I don't dispute you have a telescope. That's all I'm
Right.
saying. I dispute that you have got stars in focus and then just took a bunch of still shots of them because you're taught
I'm
not
sure
to
I
do
have.
that. That's like not what
No,
you're taught
I'm
to
sure
do.
I have. I think I would have done it after Taylor did a similar thing a while back where she posted videos from some massive telescope.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was a bit of a kerfuffle in the Globe community of like, that's not what stars look like. And I'm like, well, yes, they do, but we just take, 2-second exposures of them, which kind of makes them look round after you average out all the frames.
Yeah.
And that
Of
sort
course,
of
you
negates the
overexpose
turbulence.
them and then yeah, well, that's kind of what's expected.
Yeah, I don't think overexposed is the right word.
Well, think about
It's a
when you
long
take
exposure.
We think it's too much exposure, so then from our perspective, it would be overly exposed, right? But this is the thing, right? Imagine if the stars were something that had a form, but you're viewing them from a great distance and they're bright. You're effectively going to get an orb of light. If you get long exposure, that's just layering them all together, then you're just going to get that orb of light. And
Yeah.
this is why.
No,
That's
if
why I
you
was
layer
talking about this.
the form, you just get the form. The fact that we
Oh.
get a circle from a long exposure tells you that it does wobble.
Well, yeah, but the wobbling is not the problem, right? It's like if there's a general form consistent throughout all the wobbles, like of course there's going to be some wobbles. I don't think anyone disputes that. There's turbulence. Look, I'm going to show this video where the guy takes the different shapes.
Oops. The fuck is a zungwang?
Here, I'll drop it and then I'll play it real fast.
All right.
But this is pretty crazy. All right, share screen.
Oh, I tried to give a like on it, Witsit. Tried to put a thumbs up. Oh no. I can't put thumbs up on Witsit stuff. Oh, I can't put kissy hearts on it either.
Are you blocked?
Man.
Look how crazy this
Yes,
is.
of course I am.
Okay,
You've
well,
had me blocked for
just
years.
just be this chill, and I'll unblock you. Look, dude, look at all the circles. Dude. These are crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure there's an optics reason for that. It looks interesting.
Yeah, but like that's kind of the point, though. Like, just establishing that happens, right? So, all right, let me find you, dude.
Oh, love you.
The Bible does tell us something about the stars. They're for signs and for seasons. There was one time where my friend and I, we narrowly escaped something really wild, really wild. We were up north, and thankfully we were able to get through that. And we made a right turn, and we both saw a shooting star right in front of us. And I remember that. I always thought that was a sign. Could have been a coincidence, but I don't think so.
No, I don't think it's a coincidence. I'm just trying to decide if they're good anymore, right? Like I've had a couple
Yeah.
experiences like that. Like I've had like an epiphany, and as soon as I had the epiphany, shooting star, like
Wow.
perfectly, yeah. But like now I'm like, wait a minute, was I whatever I thought was epiphany? Was it wrong? What is this thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. Because like someone was showing me like in the Wisdom of Solomon, and it basically says that they're like rebellious angels.
Hmm. Well,
That's how they move around or whatever, because they can't go all the way up.
interesting. Yeah.
Hello?
Compulsion to move.
Who is that?
What was that?
Fuck, there's too many people here.
Sounded like unbeatable troll.
Hello,
He's-
my name is Unbeatable Troll. Are there any people
Hello.
here who are a part of a community that is looking for a schizophrenic racist? I'd like to join.
Nice. Depends. Are you a
You
flat
fit
earther or
in
a
beautifully
glober?
here. Yeah, you fit in beautifully here, bro.
Wait, what's the best race?
The one I'm a part of, obviously.
Oh, what's the worst race? Come on.
Oh man, you're putting me on the spot. I'd say
Led with it, bro.
I'd definitely say
You-
dark elves. Because the
You
Khajiit, they
fucking
might
made-
like to steal
Bro.
things, but dark elves,
You've-
you know.
You made me laugh, man, if nothing else. At the end of my Friday. Thanks for that.
Well, that's nice because the last Discord I was on, I made this 20-year-old girl rage at me. So this is a good change of pace.
So
All right, hold on. Mic check 1 2 1 2. I've been echoing the last time. I thought.
Venus, come in.
you're good.
I'm not echoing.
I'm loving this guy already.
You're not echoing, brother.
How do you enjoy the schizophrenia? Is it what does that do day to day for you?
Ignorance is bliss.
But you just told us you have
And there's
schizophrenia,
nothing
so you're
like
not
waking
ignorant.
up every day and, thinking that the government's after you. Oh, knowing that the government's after you.
Well,
That's
they are.
not
That's
ignorance. That's just obvious. But ignorance
That's
is
reality. Yep.
Not. Ignorance
Whose
is
bliss is it? Oh, sorry, Andrew. Go ahead. Sorry.
Ignorance is not bliss. That's a stupid statement. Ignorance is ignorance by definition.
It's somebody's bliss, but
Yeah,
maybe
people that are
yeah,
Retarded.
yeah, dumb.
Yeah,
or
that's it.
and potentially those taking advantage. Right? Let's say if Earth is flat and people are playing ignorant or being ignorant, someone's taking advantage.
The Earth is not flat. The Earth is fucked.
Okay, so you're legitimately trolling for no real reason, just other than to troll.
I mean, that's
This is
his
going
name.
nowhere.
That's his name. You just gotta troll. You gotta out troll him.
Good luck with that. I am the unbeatable troll, so
Yeah, I have no interest in doing that.
I think I can think of one person that could potentially beat you, but no offense, they're not human. They
So wait,
created.
what do you?
Maybe,
So what did you? Go ahead.
sorry, no, that's okay. I was just thinking about
What-
God.
So what do you think about the Germans?
I mean, they're they're a little bit dark for my taste. I mean, most of them got green or blue eyes. And, the eye color with the least amount of melanin is gray. So all these blue-eyeds, they're not as white as me because I got gray eyes, and gray has less melanin. So I don't like those melanated Germans.
Now I got a serious question. You said for your taste, now that you have gray eyes, that means you've literally tasted German people with gray or green or blue eyes or whatever fucking colors you're going to choose. So you've literally tasted them with your 5 taste buds? Is that what you were trying to say?
I was
This is getting stupid very quickly. You know that, right?
Gray eyes.
I
I don't
like
even know
that.
what that is. Is that a thing?
I like that. Like how he said it's going to get stupid. I've heard this line from Andrew many times and it never ends up well.
I'm just saying, if you're
Interesting.
German and you got blue eyes, you're not as white as I am, okay? You're kind of off-brand. If you want to be a real white person, you got to have bleach blonde hair and gray eyes. Otherwise, you're kind of, you got dark features as far as I'm concerned.
Wait, are you albino? No.
Dude, I bet you
You're
don't even
starting to
have
sound
blue
like
hair.
a wraith from Stargate Atlantis. The way you're describing yourself.
Well, Witsit was leading it on a bit, and
True Aryans have bleach blonde hair and gray eyes. If you have blue eyes, you're not really white.
Okay, sounds good, brother. So you don't like the Germans. So
No,
so
I don't
what
like
what
Germans.
okay, so
They make good cars, really good
what's your
motor
like
cars.
they're really good at engineering, this is true. What
Yeah,
Apparently, we're brave.
what's the go-to society here then?
Um, probably I'd say Solitude. You know, it's near it's north of Whiterun.
Yeah, but acting like a retard doesn't mean you're trolling, you know? And you just sound like a retard now.
Yeah, you gotta do good. You gotta be funny.
And
You've had a couple
gas is
moments.
Dutch, not German.
I was honestly just trying to bait him into saying something about the Nazis.
yeah, I got that pretty quick, and he didn't catch it. I don't think.
I think he wanted to make his joke.
Yeah,
But, you know.
not a very good troll. And yes, ma'am, Dutch, not the Germans, because it was. I think it was Germania before it was even called German.
Yeah, but gas, German.
Now we get into history, which I love. But
Well, Andrew,
yeah,
wait till we look into the German history about them being brave enough standing up to the Catholic Church. That's pretty amazing, right? Imagine you're German and you
It
just
was
found,
the Czechs, and his name was Jan Hus. Okay.
don't
yeah,
overtalk people.
yeah. So imagine we're all German and we just found out, just like Flat Earth, we found out, wait, the people are lying about what's in the book. And then we actually get to find out what's in the book. Essentially, that's kind of what Flat Earth is experiencing. But back then, the Germans were pretty brave, right? You had to pretty much confront these people.
No,
Essentially, they ran.
Jan Hus was the most famous in this regard, and he was Bohemian.
You know what's funny, bro, is like the Germans were like tripping, bro. Like, so I'm like largely German. So if anything, I should have a
Nice.
bias towards them. Like my great great grandfather was born in Germany, and then they moved here, and then his son got drafted in World War II and had to go fight and kill Germans. But like, you know, there's been such a hard pendulum swift the other way, right? Where the swing has kind of overlooked a lot of stuff. The Germans, like the Nazis, were very savage, bro. Like when they were like popping through Poland and they did some pretty savage stuff. Like their army was savage and there was some raping and there was some pillaging and it was crazy. Then the Soviets came and like 10x'd it back. Right. And the Soviets were like psychotic, but and then they obviously killed tons of Christians, something like
Yeah, they were atheists.
200 and 265 of the 300 something of the top, like the command
The
center or the
Soviets were
command
so
structure.
bad that people had to hide their farm animals because they weren't just raping the women; they were raping the farm animals too.
See, you're not
Dude,
trolling
check this
anymore.
out.
You're learning.
Dude, something that the Soviets did, dude, was like they wouldn't even notify the towns that the Germans were coming, the German troops, because they knew that the Soviet soldiers would fight more fiercely if they were defending women and children. So they would intentionally not let them like evacuate. Pretty crazy, right? And then whenever we basically meet up with the Soviet Union to take Germany out, Germans were like rushing to us, hoping that we would take them as prisoners. Because they're like, dude, we do not want to go over there. You guys have no idea what they're doing. Like it's pretty bad. And then like what they would do is they'd go in and everyone they'd push everyone west, and all these Germans are trying to run west. And then you would just basically like it was just elderly women and children at this point, right? All the fighting age men, they're like in war. And they would just have streets lined up of like a bunch of like Germans trying to get out, a bunch of women driving, and they would just wait till it's dark and they'd all be lit up and they just bombed the entire street, dude. I mean, it was pretty brutal. My point is that they had a lot of hatred for Germans because the Germans, what always gets omitted is that the Germans were super savage too. Like they were savage in war as well. So anyway,
Yeah, the interesting thing also about Germany is the director of education at my school. I'm not going to mention her name, but she has her PhD in ancient Germanic studies, and we had a long sit down lunch about it. And there's some really interesting stuff I'm going to take notes on again and talk about. But the Germans were actually the first people to create a rocket propelled, a fuel propelled rocket.
yeah,
First ones.
yeah,
Very, very intelligent people.
incredible
wait.
at physics and engineering.
Yes.
Yeah, I think their planes were traveling almost twice as fast as the Americans, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
Yes.
But they also were
Yeah, they
incredible
had
at
the V1
manufacturing.
rocket, then the V2 rocket. They had a Messerschmitt 262, which was the first jet fighter, as far as I recall. The Germans at engineering, second to none. Absolutely
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Don't
Yeah.
forget the checks, okay?
Okay, please. Okay.
Look, my step grandpa, okay, he was a Czech astrophysicist. He came here to these United States in the 60s. So, don't forget about, the Czech scientists, okay?
While we do
Well,
talk
if
about
you,
the Czechs in the future, we should though have to point out though. Let's say if the Holocaust didn't happen as we were told, while we have the freedom to say this online still, I think we should honor those people in Germany. Let's say if it didn't happen, then we were told it was just maybe manufactured by. I heard it was potentially from Russia, but it could be deeper Satan, right? Let's just say if this is not true, we have to kind of show a little bit of sympathy to the German people who had to suffer under such a tremendous lie. Although I am
yeah,
aware that they did have, yeah, war is a terrible thing.
yeah,
But
but
right,
also like Hitler was kind of psychotic, right? So like this
yes,
is the thing, like he actually was kind of psychotic by the end of his life. So he kind of started much more based, but like he got psychotic, bro. And like they actually one of the records that were meticulously kept was his doctor and what he gave him every day.
oh
And
yes,
dude, the last few
I
years of
saw the
his life,
video.
dude, he was speedballing every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they even did a documentary on this. I did watch it. I think on the History Channel.
He went
Yes,
crazy,
it
bro.
was.
He went
Yeah,
crazy because he was speedballing every day. So I mean, crazy that he even lived as long as he did. He was
They
taking
didn't
insane
call it the
amounts of
same thing back then, though. They didn't call it crystal meth and whatnot. It was a different term.
well, what do you guys think about? Oh, thank you, Andrew. Do you think they let him go and he let him retire quietly in South America, or do you think that's just? You guys must have
yeah.
heard that by
They
now,
ended
right?
Yeah, I mean they ended up like testing the skull. It was a female skull.
Yeah,
CIA documents talk about him being in Argentina.
yeah,
Still like a Nazi remnant there to this day.
that's right.
Yeah.
So, seems like they made some sort of arrangement, or he had some escape plan.
Well, so this is what I'm saying. Like, this is what I'm saying. People fall for it because they wake up and they're like, "What? It wasn't 6 million wooden doors. They had a freaking soccer team there," which is all true. And they had a maternity ward because the most efficient way
Yeah,
to exterminate a group of people is to have a maternity ward. But
yeah,
and then what do you know? None of the digits go over 5 or 6 numbers or whatever. But see, like people fall down that rabbit hole and then they just immediately shift over to okay, well, we've been told Hitler's the most evil guy ever. Da, 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 da. And then now you can just have a AI play his speeches in English, right? And you're like, this guy sounds pretty awesome. And like in his speeches, he's really good. He's like Trump-esque, like early Trump-esque, you know. where he's just saying all this stuff about the corruption. So you get why people vote for him, whatever. But you got to keep going. So like if you keep going, you find out it looks like he
Donnie
might have
D
been
has been compromised.
looks like he might be like a Rothschild illegitimate son.
Yeah.
It was illegal to look into his actual genealogy. He had multiple agreements with Zionists and Jewish bankers, right?
Yeah.
While he was ostensibly fighting against them, and it was like a kind of like a play. So like there was some truth to the war, but a lot of it was kind of like orchestrated, and he sold his
Well,
people out in the end. So I mean,
Yes.
he wasn't some
Hitler's
hero.
true name is Adolf Scheckelgrabber. Look it up.
Furthermore, I don't even think he had
That's
major
not
support.
true, but
I don't even think he had majority support. I think it was maybe 50% or less of the German people. So I could be mistaken.
I don't know. Maybe by
You
the
got to
end, it
give
might
him
be.
seriously. Sorry, you got to give him mad respect as well. This guy and this one small nation conducted a 5-year war against England, America, France, Russia, the Czech partisans. Everyone was against him, and this
Yeah.
one small nation managed to conduct a 5-year long war against all the Allied powers. You got to give him some credit for that. That's a big achievement. Well,
Oh, I mean,
I
dude,
big
they would have
achievement's
won. They would have won,
the
bro. They
wrong
would have
word.
won. He shouldn't have
yeah.
gone into
Yeah,
Poland. They would have won. And then
should
what America
yeah.
should have done was just sat back and let them fight the Soviets, right? So like, because they would have just effectively like took each other out. But we step in and help the Soviets. How does that make any sense? Why do people think that we're like automatically the good guys? We stepped in and helped the Soviets after Churchill just bombed and mass murdered women and children in Berlin, and it's like, wait,
Yeah.
what part of the story are we the good guys? Because we take out Germany, who had the reason Hitler got so popular was obviously all the communist nonsense before he ran. You know, he literally won because he was calling out the communists. So then they were at war with communism, and he kept saying, "Oh, Churchill, I don't want to fight you. I consider you guys our European brothers." Da da da. He kept turning him down. He started paying to have planes go fly flyers over there and be like, "We Germany does not want a war with you." You know, he did everything he could, but they didn't care. Then he had the Brits surrounded, completely surrounded, and chose to fall back and let them leave, thinking that they would accept a peace treaty. They still didn't. Like, it's pretty crazy. But then he just gets so drugged up. I don't know why else you would go into Poland. Why else would you do that? Why else would you go and mess with the winter at all? It was so stupid.
Trust of doctors.
Yeah, it was
Hey,
so stupid. And
I mean, it doesn't really matter
we lost
though.
60 million Christians.
Doesn't matter though because the Soviets were the master race of Europe. That's why they won. Their body politic was superior. It doesn't really matter that the U.S. intervenes. It was an inevitable outcome that the Germans would lose because their body politic was inferior to the Soviets.
To the Russians? Are you
Yeah,
serious?
yeah. No, the
Okay.
Soviets. It's not just the Russians. It's also the Ukrainians. When the Ukrainians are added into the picture, that's really what
Ukrainians are
makes it different.
Ukrainians
Mod.
are pretty good, but I mean, this is why they're killing them right now. Ukrainians,
Yeah,
like
but you have to admit,
most
right?
white
Like
race in the
according to
world.
Nazi racial ideology, the body politic determines who will win in a contest of will. So the Soviets won in a contest of will, like clearly and demonstrably. So they're obviously the master race.
They didn't win.
And
They
the
didn't
Germans were
win
the
on
weaker
their own
race.
accord. They didn't win on their own accord. They won because of America.
No, it was a very small amount of support. I mean, who was the actual blood that defeated the Germans at Stalingrad? Was the Soviets because their body politic was superior. They were able to, in a beautiful death cult worshiping the body politic of the motherland, defeat the Germans at Stalingrad. The Germans had no chance there
They
because
should not have
they're
been there.
inferior.
That's not why. It's because they were waging multiple wars on multiple fronts, and the Brits were just laying waste to them, economically laying waste to them, firebombing them. Then when America starts to get into it, right? Which I mean, obviously now to talk about the Japanese, what actually happened, us cutting off trade routes, us allowing them to hit us at Pearl Harbor, and conveniently moving our 3 best aircraft carriers, and blah blah blah. Right? But
Mhm.
like it's not unrelated at all. Like the Germans had no chance. But like
Yeah, but they should have just been able to steamroll the Russians easily. I mean, they proved themselves to have the weaker body politic. I mean, it's a natural consequence of Nazi racial ideology. Like Nazis saw the Russians as a mongoloid inferior race, But if that was the case, then they should have just steamrolled them and defeated them. They were superior in every technological sense. They had better military forces. They had better military doctrine. They
They had
had
a
better
fraction of the
experience.
people. They had a fraction
Yeah,
of the
but it
people.
doesn't
They
matter.
go into
Every
the
German
winter.
should have been worth 100 Russians, right? If you're
Oh,
really
wow.
this master
Oh,
race,
see, your argument
then
just
every
fell apart.
German should be worth 100 Russians.
No, it could
But
be
who
worth
is the
2
superior
Russians.
body politic? Obviously, it was the Soviets.
They could be a superior body politic and be worth 2 Russians. And they still would have been vastly
Okay,
outnumbered.
I have
It doesn't
something to
matter
add
if they're
in.
outnumbered, though, right? Because it comes down to it. An inferior race should never be able to resist a superior one, which is what Hitler
Unless
believed when he invaded
unless
Russia.
unless
Gentlemen,
your
if I
leader
may.
is on all kinds of drugs.
Well, there's drugs involved, but there's also smaller, more focal type of countries. Like, just go back into the game of Risk. You know, there's if you've never played the game of Risk before, I highly encourage you to at least play it a few times. But
Risk
when
is
it
pretty good.
comes to, well, just because some large body like North America has a huge, massive amount of land, it's only worth 5 points, versus smaller countries have less bodies
I
of
think you
land.
just derailed your own point.
I did not.
Yeah, I don't really know what point. Okay, but even if we grant you your point that they had external aid, right? The external aid was Jewish, right? Like
No,
it was
no.
manipulated by the international
Just can't
Jewry.
finish
So
the
that also
sentence.
means that
Never
international
mind.
Jewry is a superior race to the Germans.
All right,
Like you can't win on
I'm out.
the
Let
like
him
in
finish.
order for Nazi ideology to win, they had to win. And Hitler actually thought this, right? At the end of the war, he realized that his body politic and the German race had failed, right? And he wanted the Germans to suffer and be destroyed because he realized that if they were such an inferior race, that they would lose to the body politic of the Soviets and international Jewry and the machinations of
You
the
made all
Jews,
that up.
then they had to be inferior.
You
So
made that
Hitler
up.
saw it, but apparently you don't.
That's
made
not
that up.
even coherent, though. You're taking numbers verse and you're just
Well, he just
convoluting.
made all that up. But Andrew, what were you trying to say?
I'm not making it up. It's literally what you can see in the end of his
Hitler
life for the
never
people that
said
were
that.
there with
Hitler
him.
never
All
said that. He never said
small
that.
countries happen to have very, very strong militaries, and those are the ones
Yeah.
that the world economy is focused on with their militaries. The United Nations, as an example, or go after, such as Iran is relatively large in comparison to other ones. It's about twice the size of Texas. And then there's North Korea, then there's Iraq, then there's Libya.
Other
and
countries
then
such as
I'm
the
listing.
Iraq and other countries such as.
I was trying to list them until you interrupted. Okay. And then also, well, Cambodia, not so much, but in Vietnam. And
Vietnam is
then,
not too super small, but yeah.
not super small, but those are the countries that happen to be very, very militaristically powerful because of their resources, and they're easy to overtake.
Well, they also like become very crafty, right? Like the reason Vietnam was so tricky, and we claim it's a loss, but they lost 3-1. They lost 3-1 people. But from World War II on, they never stopped fighting, and so they had to learn how to be super crafty, crammed up in their home place, and they created all these intricate tunnel systems and traps and all this. So they were difficult to fight because they became super crafty to deal with their lack of terrain, right? And even though again we took them out 3-1, and actually we only went to war
Yeah,
with
but
Vietnam because of France.
Ho Chi Minh said that you can defeat us at a rate of 10-1 and we'll still win because Ho Chi Minh like understood the
Correct.
body politic and the strength of the body politic as being the resisting force in a war. Like
Well,
if you have to
he just
defeat the body politic of the nation to make them surrender and be defeated, and that's what happened to Germany during World War I, for example.
well, you don't
And
think we
in
could
World
have
War II, the
absolutely
same thing
destroyed
occurs.
Vietnam? You don't think we could have absolutely destroyed Vietnam if we wanted to? Are you serious? They didn't
Okay.
have the
Well,
support of the
we dropped more bombs on Vietnam than we did in the entirety of World War II, and they would run out to their bridges and repair them like while they were under bombing, like before the bombing even
Yeah, they were
stopped.
psychotic. They were psychotic. The
Yeah,
reason he
exactly.
said that,
They were inspired by the body politic of their blood and soil in a way that the Soviets were. But when it came to the Germans, I mean, they were really just larpers when it came to that. They didn't really believe in it. Like their
no, the
body
problem.
politic turned out to be weak. They were defeated by the Jews and they were defeated by the international communists. So under their own racial ideology, where the strong must defeat the weak, they themselves were the weak ones.
So the problem here that always actually happens is when people overextend and they go to someone else's home turf and then they get wrecked, right? It also greatly decreases the morale of the army. The same thing happened in the Civil War. Like as soon as all like the South was way outnumbered, way out manufactured, should have been absolutely dominated. But the North couldn't really mess with the South because they had such good generals, and all the generals in the North were like terrified of them even to go fight. But when the South then started pushing up north, they were like, wait, what are we doing? Now we're the bad guys? Like I thought we were just defending our sovereignty. As soon as the South started pushing up, they wrote all about it. Like the morale of their soldiers plummeted. This always happens. It's just like our soldiers overseas right now. They don't want to be there, right? Their morale is super low. This is like the most important variable in war. It's like the
Yeah,
morale of
but
your soldiers.
according to Nazi ideology, again, according to the own idea, if you're really a Nazi, which I don't believe you actually are, by the way.
When did I say I was a Nazi?
Well, that's the thing. You're not a Nazi, then, are you?
I just now talked about how Hitler was psychotic.
Okay, so you don't oppose international Jewry, then?
Of course I do. Those are not mutually
Okay, then you're a
exclusive.
Nazi.
No,
So
no,
if I
no,
don't,
don't convolute. Don't convolute
yeah,
Hitler's
so wait,
Nazi versus National Socialism.
I'm trying to
It's
understand. So
not
if I
fair.
don't support, what do you mean international world jury? Like you want to define it more because obviously not using it the way that I do.
Okay, why don't you define it for me? I'm not a
Oh,
scholar on this topic.
I'm just talking. I'm talking. Like I'm not just talking about the fact that there are Jews worldwide. I'm talking about the nepotism utilized for subversively overtaking multiple different countries economically, and then weakening those
Right.
countries intentionally.
Right, but that's the Jews proving themselves to be the master race in control of the world, right? They
That's
have the
not what's
ultimate
happening.
superior body politic. Yeah, it is because
No.
they're the
So
winners.
you're a
They're the
Nazi. So
controllers.
you're the Nazi.
No, I don't believe in Nazi racial ideology. But if I if
And
I
why do you
if I
keep on
assume that it's
saying that?
true, if I assume your ideology,
It's not my
right,
ideology. It's not
kind
mine.
of is though. Was
No,
Hitler
it's
a good
not.
guy or not?
No. No. Hitler was not a
Hitler
good guy.
wasn't a good guy, but you just happened to take Germany's side in the conflict. It's a bit
Why would
weird.
what? I just explained that my great great grandfather was born in Germany, moved over here. His son was drafted in war and went and fought and killed Germans. A ton of my family were in the wars, including World War
Yeah, but
II.
you're just
I'm an
giving
American.
Germany's case. You're just
Why would
giving
I?
Germany's case. You're just defending Germany over and over
No,
again
no. You
and
mean I was
saying that they should have
correcting
invaded.
I was correcting the historical record. I said they shouldn't have invaded. I said that.